teman-teman Women's Health Indonesia, sampai salam omong. Saya lagi semangat banget siang ini di Bliss Kemang. Di samping saya ada Janet Stone. Hai Janet, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Dan bagus. Tadi hari ini dia belajar kata bagus, kucing, karena di luar ada kucing. Dan di sebelah saya lagi, right beside Janet is Silvia. Our marketing manager dari Women's Health Indonesia. She is a very, you're a serious runner and a serious yogi.
Yes, I am.
Super serious, but actually in the daily activities, she has a very, how do you call it, a good sense of humor.
Very necessary.
Yeah. Okay. This afternoon we're going to talk a bit about Janet Stone and yoga and this video called Radiant Mom Yoga. Maybe we can talk a bit about why is it that a mom needs to be radiant? And the other topic would be yoga is more than just an asana.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk later about that. But my first question would be, why radiant yoga for mom?
For mom, yeah. Well, so if you're a mom and if you're a parent really,
Yes.
and if you're tending to any life other than yourself, what we tend to experience is an outward flow of our own life energy, yeah? And it's very outside of ourselves and very, and often, yes, give. And sometimes a mother might feel depleted. What do you think?
Yes.
Just maybe.
Tell me about it. I have 4.
Yes. So we lose sometimes our own, I'll say, luster, our own sort of connection to our light. So maybe when we think radiant mom yoga and we see that, oh yes, I must go out and be this big bright beacon. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm actually talking about in the day-to-day living, how do we find and polish this luster, right? Our own selves. Because in the fact that in the face of giving out all the time, sometimes we forget to turn inward and take care. So to me, yeah, there's this way, and when you're nurturing others, you forget to nourish yourself. So for this, I always think, like, how do we nourish ourselves so we can nurture others? Yeah, so it becomes a healthful, cyclical
Would
way.
there be any simple tips for the beginners, for the mom that begins to do yoga as a daily exercise?
The simplest tips I can suggest for a parent of any kind, mother or father, is really just, it is the breath, a rhythm with the breath, feeling steadiness on your own feet, right? Because, because we start to feel off balance when we're giving out so much, yeah? So steadiness on your, could be very simple. You could be washing dishes and really find the breath and root down. Sure, if you can add bringing your arms up on an inhale, bringing your arms down on an exhale. Or even bringing your arms up on an inhale, folding down toward the ground with some blocks, or maybe the baby hamper, or whatever's down there, and then lengthen. And if you can add these little bits into your day, my point is that it's not like it used to be. We don't have luxurious times, so we find these bits throughout the day to really sort of polish it, and take care of it.
Yeah. Silvia, you were in Janet's class this morning. What sort of experience that maybe you can share?
Very good.
It should be more than just very good.
Yes.
She used me as demonstration twice. So
This is your model.
Yeah, abused her.
I like the word.
do it properly. But my experience during the class is that she was always reminding us to focus back on the breath. It's like the breath with the movement, not just the movement or not just the breath, but together. Maybe you can explain more about.
Yeah, what is it about breath? You're talking about whenever you are in yoga class, any yoga teacher will say, focus on your breath. What is it? What is the magical thing about breath?
Well,
you're breathing every day.
All day, for the longest we have our life, we're taking an inhale and we're taking an exhale. And so we should have it down, right? We shouldn't have somebody tell us to breathe, yeah? However, we tend to actually constrict our breath or take short breaths, and sometimes the breaths only live about here. And so we begin to train ourselves to actually control the rhythm of our breath, and possibly in hopes that some of the ways in which our mind loops around on itself and we get caught on particular thoughts, that actually we train our attention on our breath. There's so many other facets about the lobes of the lungs opening and really getting full use, yeah? And then also closing and emptying out completely. Because if we're never all the way in or all the way out, we're sort of somewhere in this in-between land. It gives more vitality, gives more attention to the moment, yeah? The breath.
So she was abused by you this morning.
Yes, she demonstrated for me what I was attempting to demonstrate and have her sort of show as a model is we were talking about fire today.
Yeah.
Fire in the framework in Sanskrit is Agni, yeah? And so we were going for the element of fire in our body. Fire, this essence of transformation, right? Transmutation. If you put something into a fire, guess what? It's going to change states, right? Change forms. In the yogic tradition, we talk a lot about keeping the fire tended so we can take the impressions that we experience, the relationships, the life experiences, and sort of put that into the fire so we see what's nourishment and what's waste. Sort of burn off the waste, yeah? And
so to get rid of the bad one and...
Yeah, so we just sort of maybe move a little bit more toward the luminous nature. I don't know how you translate that word, but I think it's a beautiful word, luminous. And
saya cari di kamus ya.
Luminous. It's a good word. But you know, what she was demonstrating is a challenging posture. It was an arm balance, and she had to go down through her hands and basically lift the rest of her body up. So we were demonstrating what it is to sort of let the flame of the fire sort of be its own natural lifting. And then she was reaching out through her feet way out. And we were also talking about, you know, where our fingers end, and then where actually there's heat and, you know, all the scientific studies that we move beyond. So she was...
Can we give a small demonstration right now for the camera?
Maybe you can demonstrate what you...
I'm happy to demonstrate, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's...
So I do shoes on or shoes off?
Shoes off.
Okay, let's go. This is going to be quick.
Yeah.
Because
enough space.
we have so many other things to share. Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do Ekapada Galabasana. Yeah, this is all good. No, that's good. Okay. So in this particular form, there's a way in which we connect down into the ground. So that'll be my hand here. She can't be behind me because I don't want to kick her in the face. Yeah. Okay. And so as we go down into the ground, there's a softness around my heart. So I acknowledge the earth down below me, yeah? So I feel the steadiness, the hardness of the earth. I spread sweetly through my fingers. And as I lean in forward, I press down into the earth, and maybe the back leg comes up. And if the back leg comes up, then there's this extension that goes out, but it's not, yes, nice. Yeah? But as we do this, yeah, there's a big way in which we can bring our own ego into it, yeah?
Okay.
I'm gripping and pushing. What we're offering this morning, and it's very, and the breath gets tight, and we get tight, and our ego just comes jumping in. But this morning we're offering it actually into the fire of our own transformation, but also for the heat and the radiation for all of our friends and their friends and all beings, yeah? So
So you can actually make use of the agni, the
Mhm.
fire, for yourself, and
Yeah.
also giving something for
Yeah.
your friends
Yeah.
and environment and people around you.
yeah, so you imagine how culturally, in a lot of cultures, the fire is a place of gathering, right? It's
Yes.
a place of great
Yes,
light.
yes,
And so we
Then fire
we
can,
tend the fire, and who's going to tend the fire? And each of us need to participate a bit, but we gather around.
Yeah. Yeah. Earlier, I had a small talk with Silvia,
Yeah.
and she was mentioning that this morning she's also learning something from you, that yoga is more than just an asanas.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe I believe there's a lot of people still thinking that doing yoga is just, like jumping upside down or whatever, and forgetting the real meaning that yoga is more complex than just doing a pose. Maybe you can elaborate more on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yoga, whatever way we come to it, thank goodness, yoga actually in its purest form is about union. And we like to find ways to separate ourselves in containers, and we put everything in its particular order. But yoga is kind of messy in the sense that it says, no, it's actually all one. It's all a unified. So even our parts we don't like, and even the parts we like, yeah? So those come into union. Parts we like are youthfulness and being able to go out into the world and be great and kind of show this particular movement. The parts we don't like, we start getting older, or we trip and fall, or relationship hurts and ends, or whatever. But yoga is actually holds all of that, yeah? And so this practice, if you come in through asana, great. If that's the only bit you touch into, it's going to still change you. It's still going to affect you. It is an 8-limb practice, yeah? So we begin with the yamas, and we move on to the niyamas. So please look those up if you haven't. And it goes on to really about ways in which we can have a relationship with ourselves and the world that is more cohesive, more unified, starting from within and moving out. Asanas, good to heal the body and move the body, and this is a temple that we've been given, so let's take care of it, sure. And through the inhale and the exhale, we find these two opposites. And so maybe when we step off our mat and we're in a really grindy situation, it's really uncomfortable, and that, it's like, whoa, like how can these practices come outside? How can we really relate back to our breath? And so what if I can stand on my hands and put my leg up in the air and put my foot, if I can't be compassionate with myself or with someone else, to me, it's nothing, It means another way of shoring up my own ego, or sort of boosting up my own ego, which is that's not yoga. It's performance, it's performance, it's calisthenics, it's acrobatics. All those things are amazing, but yoga is yoga,
Do you think it's important for anybody who do yoga, be it a teacher or a beginner, or maybe someone like Silvia, you're practicing yoga for 5 years? More than 5 years? Do you think it's important to do like a daily routine? Because I know some people they're too busy and then they forgot to do to give a gift to themselves by doing a daily routine. And how important, if you think it's important, and why is it important?
I mean, all of us, I think, struggle with routine, even with things that are really nourishing, right? We really all have that struggle. It's not unique. That's why in so many of the texts they say daily. Now, we live in a different time, in a different culture, and we're not, going up to the mountain peaks and going away. We're actually letting yoga live in our urban cultures, yeah? So to me, the importance is finding a realistic daily
That's
rhythm.
the key.
Realistic. And what I've found, and trust me, I've done a lot of internal research, and I've used myself as a guinea pig, because if I say I'm going to do it later, right? but the morning time is honestly the best time. And if there's any way to even carve out 4 minutes of sitting still, a little timer on promising yourself you won't sit longer than 4 minutes, or however busy you are, 11 minutes, 20 minutes, and then whatever little routine that you can carve out, little rhythm that you can carve out, it's actually, they say it's better than one 90-minute class once a week, you know? I mean, no, that's great, but if you can find a rhythm and then join those as well.
Should we do it at the same time every day, or
whatever helps you? I mean, I feel like, of course, the texts say early in the morning and late at night, but I say let's be flexible. Let's be realistic with what,
realistic.
Yeah, let's be realistic. And there's the little fine line between, like, I'm going to change my routine, but then you don't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
No rigidity. You know,
rigidity.
I say no rigidity.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, thank
for,
you. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Kucing.
Kucing. Meow meow.
Meow meow. Yeah. We just learned about the word kucing just now karena di luar Bliss tadi ada 2 ekor kucing.
Kucing.
Oh, masih ada sekarang.
I know 1, 2, 3. Not enough. Tinggal. 3.
Yeah.
See, not even 3.
Thank you so much. We're going to put this on YouTube and give you the link, so maybe you can.
Yes.
It's in English, so everybody can watch it.
How did it go?
And I think that's all for now. Thank you, Janet. We'll see you again in Bali, maybe.
Bali Spirit Festival.
Spirit Festival.
Yeah, March 19th or
Yes.
20th, something like
We'll
that.
be there.
Should be
Women
super
South
fun.
Indonesia will be there. You will be there, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe I will be there.
yeah.
Maybe I will be there too. See you around. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.